ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, it is 8:30, that means 3 Men and a Vape Show. Well, it does mean 3 Men and a Vape Show when we actually turn up. It's been 3 weeks since we've been here. Is it 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks. Well, last week was for a good cause. Obviously, I don't know if you've been underneath a rock. Obviously, there's been a lot of fundraising for Mick's daughter. The page is still up there, the GoFundMe page. Make sure you get over there. Big shout out to the Saturday lads who did theirs as well the other weekend. They did really, really well. And a big love to the vaping community for everybody coming together. I think they're very, very close. If not, they might have already hit the 25k for a fantastic cause. But yeah, so last week we did that because Mick did a live with his daughter, and we just thought we'll step back and let them do their thing, which was really, really good. So we are back, a week away from Expo. Next week is the Expo special we'll be doing. But we have got a special guest on, the wonderful James Drawbridge. How are you, brother?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
All the way from the King's Custard.
From the kingdom.
From the kingdom. I'm good, brother. It's nice to see you. We will get on to why you are here in a little while. We've got the wonderful, my brother, the Soul Omi. You okay, buddy?
I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Have you had a good 3 weeks?
No, not really, but he's been
turned
on.
into Mr. Wobbly.
He's not really, but wife's still really, really poorly. So
Not good.
No. And I'm having a week off, believe it or not, but this week off has been spent looking after my wife.
Oh, not good.
So yeah, not good, but
What? I didn't even know you. Obviously, we are brothers. I didn't know. So what? This week you've had off?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, I had all plans, but that went
Shows you how
to
close we are.
poo-poo and from Friday night. Yeah, so Jan's been really, really poorly. Can't stop throwing up and going dizzy and all that lot. So yeah, it's not been good.
It's horrible like that, when your partner's like that.
Yeah. So
Pots start
what
stacking
was-
up,
what
none
was
of the fucking
planned
clothes
for
are
the
ironed.
what was planned for the week has faded away.
Been put on the back burner.
Yeah,
Oh, well, she comes first.
I'm off work.
Yeah, just think you don't have to deal with all that shit, do you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm off work, chill out, watch plenty of Netflix and YouTube. It's
You're
brilliant.
just not going to get the chill, are you?
No, exactly.
No. Mr. B, you sexy mountain of love, how are you?
I am, for a large size mountain of love, I am fine.
Oh, yeah. Are we still swimming?
Yeah, when I can. At the moment, obviously, with my dad being a bit under the weather, it's been hard. It's not been easy. It's been a tumultuous 4 or 5 weeks. But as human beings, we soldier on the best we can.
That's all you can do. Obviously, James, you have come up into a really happy show. We're all laughing and giggling. Tell me you're well. Look at that face. Now he's not.
No, well, fuck it. I'm going to be here.
Okay, it's on it. How am I going to do it? Big love to everybody who's joining us in chat. You make the show. You're absolutely lovely people. We will be doing your hand checks. We will also be doing your Rochford giveaway a little bit later on. James. James is really, really happy because he's just had a big, massive order put in just before Expo.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah.
So he's a bit late off from work doing it all. Like you said, though, at least it's not 3 days before it.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
So you're back in the home zone then?
Back in the home zone, yeah, again.
Well, you're not. You're in this because by the looks of it, it looks bigger. They've got a centre part to it now, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they can find you.
Yep. We've got some nice things planned for Expo. Obviously, we've got the cloud comp. We'll move to that one in a second.
Yeah.
But one thing that we've got a photo booth on our stand designed for people who want to take a picture in front of a marked background, sort of trying to bring back some of the old days. We've sold sponsorship to it. So the whole idea of the picture is that it's for your banner picture. So it'll be a nice picture of a nice big cloud, no matter whether you've got a pod system or you've got a big, huge box or you've got a massive LiPo box or you've got mechs or you've series boxes. It doesn't matter. Come down, come take a picture. And then we've been selling sponsorship to companies for them to feature their logo and also be affiliated with the Cloud Comp as well. So we have not made a penny from it, but we're giving the money straight to prizes for the Cloud Comp. So 18650 Cloud Comp only. You can use a 21700 mech, but it must have a battery reducer and an 18650 battery. Get my words right. It's been a long day. But yeah, it's took a lot of work, and fingers crossed everything's going to work brilliantly. But it's Expo, isn't it? We'll do our best and we'll crack right on.
A lot of people, obviously, in chat have been to expos before the COVID sort of break of it, and way back in the day. Now, again, me and Mark were talking about it. That's what you sort of saw all the time. There were people doing cloud comps, and there was also doing like tricks and stuff like that. You did do it in May, but it was a little bit late on the Sunday, wasn't it?
It was a little bit late on, but we adapt and overcome. It was good. It was good. Steve Bopit took the win last year, so he's got to defend his title this year.
There is money involved as well, isn't there?
There is money involved. So first prize, £500 for the first prize winner. Second place, £250. And third place gets the pat on the back.
He did say tap on the back, but there will be something there for the people.
Yeah. We'll even if no one else gives something, we'll give them a full booty of Kings anyway. So
if people have not, I know are going to the expo, have never been involved in a cloud competition, how does it work?
Okay. So if you want to take place in the cloud comp, you come down to the stand. It's a bit of cloud in front of the measured background. Biggest 16 go through. 16 go onto the main stage, and then it's a back-to-back format. 16 become 8, 8 becomes 4, 4 becomes 2, and then obviously there's a runner-up, the third place just before the final. It's been a long day. Been a long day.
So, right, again, is there any coil restrictions? Is there juice restrictions? Is there any of this, like...
So, like, say, for instance, with your coil restrictions, nothing lower than 0.1. It's going to be strict. It has to be. We don't want any faux pas or accidents from bad battery safety or bad met care. I know a lot of people are quite happy to run 0.07.
Are they? I wouldn't have known that.
Mark, what do you run yours at?
0.07. What, the 007? No, never.
I don't know what you're on about, mate. Not me.
Oh, not me. No.
But yeah, so 5-second draw back to back, 3-second purge as well, just like it used to be.
Yeah,
it's funny what you said, Aidan. I remember going back in the days. There used to be a big cloud comp, but then there would be also individual cloud comp on people's stands back then, and there'd be two or three, 4 in a weekend.
Yep.
You know, and the as you said, the prize banks back then were insane.
I always remember when VGod used to do the tricks, and they tried to make their booth so like airtight, because obviously you need it to make euros and that lot. And there must have been wind everywhere because they were blowing, and they couldn't do anything.
You'd actually see people practicing, wouldn't you? You know, like off in the corner. You know, like where they'd have them big black curtains in the corner. They'd be off in the corner practicing. You'd see them all doing that. You'd see everybody going like that and trying to block. Yeah. Is it a corner of everybody looking like a monkey? They're going Shazam.
Not as good as you when you did it on last at some vapes.
Yeah, we were on about it. Did this for a number of years ago. So what I done was I ended up getting a coat hanger and then putting loads of cotton wool around it. So I blew this big fucking cloud, stuck it on my head and stuck. I'm really looking forward to this expo, and it's nice that they're doing something again like they did in May, a little bit different. And like we said, the timing that you had were a bit shitty, like 2:30, wasn't it, on a Sunday where a lot of people have gone.
We're earlier this year. I can't remember if it's 1 o'clock or 1:30, but I'm pretty sure it's 1:30.
I'll tell you what. I'm looking at the actual.
It's 1 o'clock. It is 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Looking at the actual plan again, they've stuck the own zone right next to the stage again, haven't they?
Well, we had a bit of a problem last year because when the stage is on, we couldn't hear our own sound system. So we bought bigger speakers.
Oh, that's going to help.
Yeah.
It's just going to fucking drown everybody out.
Let's go bigger. It's one of the things that I'm glad that he's sort of cut down on. If we've said it, haven't we, Mark? Because you used to go to every stand and they'd be all trying to outdo them.
Yeah, but even still, the problem with the main stage is, even when we was in the home zone in May, you couldn't, once they start up, you can't have a conversation. And that is a bad one, especially for the home zone as well.
So the solution to that is to add bigger speakers
and talking.
Is it bad when I saw Mark put on, what's a 007? The first thought that came to my mind was a fucking yank female if Walkout's got anything to do with it.
Yeah, he knows exactly what it is. He's a big, massive mecha, old Mark.
So out of interest, obviously me not being that au fait with mechs, I mean, I just tend to chuck a battery in and put whatever Chico sends me into it and hope for the best. How are you testing to see if it's not a 007 build on a mech?
Say, for instance, nice and simple, we use a DNA, quite simply.
Yeah. Or an ohms reader.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you bring a dry built...
So they can't just run up and go, trust me, bro, it's not 007.
Unfortunately not. There's too many people. Back in the day, people used to leave post holes loose just so that it would read 0.1 and then tighten them down and then, all right, it'd be all right. And it's not.
You've got me. Did they actually do that?
I've got to ask, though, what about liquid?
Liquid...
I remember back in the day that people used to use just VG and that's it.
I was just about to say 100% VG. Get that cloud going.
The only thing I remember about that when people using 100% VG is that people didn't practice using the 100% VG. So when they thought they were going to have an advantage. When really it was too thick for voice box and just a bit. And
Luke, I am your father.
They couldn't perform as what they're meant to do. I mean,
would it be a thing if they got them to bring like a fresh RDA and you provide the liquid for them to use?
So basically, we always put like a couple of bottles of Kings on the stand. So if you don't like custard, if you don't like fruit, you might not like any Kings. So if you want to bring your own 70-30, it's no problem.
Not like Kings? How very dare they?
Well, talk about it. You ordered some, didn't you, for your dad? Didn't you? And
it's actually quite a revelation. Fuck it, I'll say it. My dad got diagnosed with cancer and lung cancer, and he had to stop smoking. There were no two ways about it. He had to go into vaping, but he couldn't find a juice. He just could not find one that he liked that he could stick with. They either hurt his throat, or he couldn't deal with the.
Yeah, you're all right, bro. The way actually.
Couldn't deal with it, and fuck's sake, managed to get hold of the
tobacco.
I can't believe this. Managed to get hold of the leprechaun, the mint. What are them biscuits? Shamrocks.
Yeah, Shamrock.
Shamrock. The mint. What were the biscuits? Viscount biscuits. Tastes like Viscount biscuits. And I got him that, and that is the only juice that he's managed to keep vaping with.
Yeah, it's the only one that kept
the only
being
juice.
there. Big love, brother. You know what I mean? Big love to you, mate. Yeah, so it was after you come on the show, and obviously we were talking about that. We were talking about the tobacco one as well. You tried that one, didn't you? And you quite liked it as well, didn't you, Mr. V? But yeah, it was after you'd been on the show, so he went and got some of that, and yeah, the Shamrock. I love that Shamrock. It's my favourite one. That.
This is the one when someone said to you and say like, "Oh, what is your favourite juice out of your line?" And I always say, what happens if you got 13 kids and someone asked you, which one do you love the most?
Yeah. I could probably tell you.
It's kind of between Shamrock and Rainbow for me. Maybe English Toffee as well, but then also... I'm never going to be able to pick me. Never.
Yeah, the Shamrock I love. And I was very surprised at the tobacco. I said that in the salts, because obviously, when's the next 3 being released?
Just after Christmas.
How have these gone? How have these took off?
Salt's very well received. We're on to the second batch already. There's a couple of things going on regarding. I don't want to say too much, so I'm going to skip that one. But
secrets. Come on, give us an exclusive. Come on. You here now? Give us an exclusive.
Sticking around his head, you can see it, can't you?
All right. Things that I can say. I can definitely tell you the next 3 flavors. So that's coffee OG.
Yep.
Coffee custard. Off the rails, which is banana cinnamon cheesecake cream.
Nice.
And English toffee OG. So that's our usual OG custard blend, but with an English toffee edge to it. And
I don't think I've tried that one.
Oh, you're in for a treat, buddy. You're in for a treat.
That sounds nice, that.
But yeah.
It's again, obviously, with you didn't have the Nick Sanders line. You found that they've sold well and they've been took well and.
Yeah, very well received. Very well received. It's been a fun one to adapt the flavours into a new range, but we're having a small problem regarding the creams. One of the creams will not pass TPD, so we're on the search for a new cream.
Right. What's stopping it from passing TPD?
TFA custard has quite a high amount of diacetylene.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the boat. Now, the problem cream, well, one of the creams that we use is vanilla bean ice cream, and it's only one chemical compound away from custard, so it will not pass. No way. So one thing that I don't know if you know much about mixing creams and such, anything that gives body to a liquid seems to be the thing that the training standards,
the costing down,
MHRA don't like. Yeah. So essentially, what we've got to sort of do is take the body of a cream, the upfront taste of a cream, but then also give it some body using other elements. So that's the bit that takes quite a bit of work.
I think we ought to bring back diacetyl.
I totally agree with you.
I really do. I genuinely do, because the proofing is in the pudding type of thing.
It's
killed a lot of juices by taking that out.
It's only a regulation. It should be up to you whether you want to do it.
You could say that about many things, though, couldn't you?
Exactly.
It's your body. If you want to fuck it, it's up to you.
Just a shout out, big love to Forrest. I love you loads, bro, and I'll catch you in a bit. Thanks a lot, bro. Sorry.
No dramas. I would love for a day to come back. A lot of good juice, as you said, a lot of good juice companies have been ruined over the years.
Well, I remember when it first came out. Now, what was it? 3 prawns?
5 prawns.
5 prawns. Well, they only had they were out 2 when I first saw them.
Okay.
5 prawns. They got absolutely hammered with it, didn't they? I remember.
I mean, you look. All you have to do is, what is it? Suicide Bunny, Mother's Milk.
Do you know what?
The original Mother's Milk was absolutely gorgeous compared to what it is now.
No. One of my favourite juices back in the day was Suicide Bunny Derailed.
Yeah, Derailed.
If it wasn't for Derailed, there would be no Off the Rails. Off the Rails was like what's the correct word? Attempt not to clone the juice, but my interpretation of that juice.
Yeah.
Inspired by.
That's the correct word I'm looking for, yeah.
Marked her.
But yeah, old Cutwood as well.
Cutwood, yeah.
Sugar Drizzle and the Boss's Reserve and all stuff like that.
What were the other ones called? Cloud something? What were they called? And they used to do one called Kryptonite. And that was...
Is it Cosmic Fog?
That's it, Cosmic Fog.
Cosmic Fog, that, yeah.
You know, I've just seen over the last couple of days, someone sent me a website, a mailer that they got from Cosmic Fog. And I was like, oh, is it new flavours? And they were like, no. They're moving into a different end of the market. And I was like,
Disposable.
Cannabis disposables.
Oh.
That's not going to go down well.
When obviously they took all the diacetyl out of it, they took it out of obviously the kryptonite, and we went to Vape Jam, which were a number of years ago, the second time, and I found the stand. They were there, and I'm like, oh wow, because people just stopped selling it. And I went.
Can I just make a point?
I knew this was coming.
Only me. I would just like to verify that one. It has actually never been proven that the people that worked in the popcorn industry actually got popcorn lung from diacetyl. It was never, ever proven.
Just assume.
And now, if you can find any documentation to prove that it was diacetyl, email me down below.
Down below? As well as
send me your email, and next week Mark will show his ass on camera.
I don't think there's actually ever been a case from vaping of popcorn lung anyway, is there?
No, there's never been a case. But when they was doing the study back, I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s, somewhere around there, that when obviously people was getting popcorn lung, they associated it with diacetyl. They never proved that it was actually diacetyl that caused it.
It's a bit like saying me being fat is because I eat too many Big Macs.
Yeah,
it's an assumption. It's an assumption.
I think
it's almost like saying that they got a load of people on a sunny beach, and there was an ice cream van at the side. Depending on how many people ate the ice cream, how many people got sunburn. So do you get rid of the ice cream van?
Yeah, as well as you've got to think about the different percentages of what, if it was that caused it, the different percentages of what's actually in a vape liquid to what would actually be around in a factory with butter to get that buttery taste. It wouldn't be the same amount, would it?
No.
Boston, the vitamin E thing was vitamin E acetate, and that's a completely different story. That was something to do with the THC and CBD pods.
America, running.
Yeah, the black market was adding vitamin E acetate to we'll call them dodgy pods, and that's what was hurting people.
And again, we get, as vapors, you get this all the time. If it's actually administered like a vape, then it's classed as vaping. When it's got THC in it, and that's not really like our vaping, is it? It's not. Or even if you look at the way they do the IQOS, that's not vaping.
Do you know, one thing I've got to butt in and say, sorry to interrupt you, but this is the one thing that's really starting to grate me out about all this stuff in the media at the minute about disposables and such. It's not been labelled as disposable vapes. It's been labelled as vaping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's not our craft, guys. That's a Chinese thing. You've got to let them crack on with that. You impose your rules on them. Mm-hmm. No, we've lived by the rules. We've gone for testing. We've done everything that we needed to do.
There was a report on BBC News. I think it was last week about a 12-year-old girl that ended up having to be put in a coma. Well, she had really bad asthma. She'd also had a cold. And what turns out, she was having a disposable that was 600 puffs, and then she was having a disposable was 1,500 puffs. Well, both of them are illegal in this country.
And she's 12. Where's she got them from?
Exactly.
No, more importantly, the parents allowed this.
Yeah, the dad only got it from pub behind counter.
Exactly.
By all accounts, she was hiding it from the parents in a bedroom under the carpet and in a
under carpet. Well, wait, fucking Narnia. Under carpet.
I turned around and said to Jan, it's so like, who cleans a room then?
You know, I had a chat with a teacher from a local school, and she was asking. We were having a conversation about where are the kids getting them from, and she said to me, she goes, "You mean you don't know?" And I was like, well, they're not coming from here. And I was like, well, she showed me an Instagram post of a Cash App-based disposable seller. And it even advertised the fact on the Snapchat post. And it said, if you don't want your parents to know, £10 extra, and we'll insert your vapes into packets of sweets. So when you open your package, it looks like a package of sweets.
You're joking me.
Could not
I saw that.
believe it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Could not believe it. And one of the other instances, there was a school probably about 50 miles away from
It's
here,
terrible.
and there was an instance of a kid who'd got a disposable vape, and it contained ketamine, MDMA, and a couple of other things. Now, this is the problem. These Cash App-based disposable sellers that are working through social media, it's a purely anonymous service. So they can sell the THC carts, these DMT carts, carts with MDMA and ketamine in. That absolutely blows my brain. Why would you want to vape that?
The biggest problem is when those carts injure somebody, the media just puts down kid injured by vaping, and nobody reads the article. They just see the headline, and then or popcorn lung prevalent in Johannesburg. Oh, fucking hell, popcorn lung's real. No, read the fucking story. You'll find out that it might have been in 1942. It's just.
Can I ask a question, guys? Because you lot all know. It's just what only me's just put. When was diacetyl banned in vaping?
I think it was about, what, 2017?
I thought
17.
about that.
Yeah, 2016, 2017.
Yeah, 2016, 17. Yeah. No, it's just what he put, that's all.
Yeah, you're totally right. The thing is, if you had problems with that type of e-liquid with that in, it's like Shrek. He can't have anything that may contain nuts. Or might be around nuts. So he wants it put on bottles, which, apart from obviously Shrek likes them in his mouth, I'm only joking, Shrek. Well, I'm not really. Well, I hope not anyway, because I'm hoping to see you at Expo.
Put some in his mouth.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, but let's face it, we know people that can't cope with PG. You can't cope with PG, can you?
I'm actually a lot better than I was. It was, what was the company called that did burnt toast and jam? It was, was it Decadent?
Just Jam did that as well.
Is it Decadent flavours?
Decadent, Jam Monster.
Yeah, they did it, and it was their actual juice, and it used to give me bellyache, but I use 50-50 now all the time, and it doesn't actually bother me. But it used to give me bellyache. I don't know if it was the type of PG they was using.
See, all it means is I have scarred lungs. When I came across a liquid with diacetyl, I had problems breathing. I have no issues with liquids that do not have diacetyl in just my own experience. I'm no expert. It might not be the diacetyl. It could be something completely different.
It could just be cheap Nick.
Yeah, cheap Nick as well, does it? I know a lot of people who have used cheap Nick.
It's the reason why I asked the question, because let's face it, diacetyl hasn't been in vaping for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while since it's been in there.
Just going back to Cosmic Fox, milk and honey. What a flavour.
Yeah, it was
Really
beautiful.
Flavour. Do you know, we were talking about liquid state the other day. Do you remember, is it apple butter?
Apple butter?
In a red bottle, liquid state.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was it another juice that was ruined by diacetyl being taken out?
I think the last time you were on, I think we spoke about this. I think juice also got ruined when they stopped it from being able to have nick in it. I always felt that it tasted 300 times better when it had been steeped with nick inside it.
Yeah. It was steeped for a longer time. That's why.
I think it was. I don't know so much about the hot spots. You know, obviously, like with these Nick shots, you get the hot spots. I would imagine you'd get the hot spots exactly the same, but you're using it in a bigger amount, aren't you? When you're doing a batch.
Well, I wouldn't have thought many people would get the juices, put the Nick in, then chuck it on the shelf for 5 weeks.
No.
I don't think many people would do that. But when you used to get the liquids with Nick in them, they would have been on the shelf for 5-6 weeks before you got your hands on them.
Minimum, yeah.
So the steeping time and the mixing with the moving and all that, you're going to have less hot spots naturally, and it's going to steep a lot better.
Again, if you got Sean Morris, I can't have mango lychee flavours. Makes me feel like shit.
I'm exactly the same. Orange as well for me. Orange, I can't touch it.
Yeah.
There is a lot of it's like people who can't take
strawberry.
Well, there's different, obviously. Yeah. People who
I can't do mint or ice.
Ice, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Coolada, that's what I'm thinking of. Coolada. Some people can't.
It's not the taste. It's just literally, I'll vape it for so long, and then literally just here, just below my sternum, honestly, I start getting pains instantly. And it's not quite acid reflux, but it's not far off from it.
Okay. That's interesting to know.
Yeah,
Well,
I know you do.
You're going to
Bill,
think
but
that could be
you
to
do
do with
minority.
indigestion. You know, because it's like that minty, you know, like when you chew chewing gum, some people get indigestion from that, don't they?
Yeah. So
There's only
stay
ever
away
been
from them.
one juice that really affected me badly, and it was a Malaysian brand called Fizzy. And I got their popcorn version, butter popcorn. I took one drag of it and it made me violently ill. We're talking exorcist, projectile vomit everywhere. It was horrible. It was the worst flavor I've ever had of any vape ever.
Was it the taste, or was it how it was, what it was made of? That was
You know, it was. I couldn't tell you. I think the taste was billions of times bad. It was horrendous. The way I could describe it was moldy old cheese, like somebody's sock. It was. It's like if I was to go to the gym for an hour and then get Aiden to breathe through my sock.
Oh, fuck that.
That would be what I would imagine.
Thank God it was just a
vape
sock.
And I just puked on the spot, and I literally after about 10
Would he
minutes
actually
of feeling
suck on the
violently ill-
sock?
Oh, mate.
Well, yeah, because you need the liquid in there like a vape.
Yeah, you need to suck on the sock,
you're
Aiden.
making me feel
I mean,
sick.
I could arrange to atomize the liquid to make it a really genuine experience, but the thing is, I was violently ill, and it's just I've never touched Fizzy ever again or a Malaysian liquid at all. And it's
Malaysian liquids,
amazing how-
when they started hitting the shelves here in the UK, they were just full of massive amounts of sweeteners. They'd take your cotton apart and your coiled.
No, they were just pure sugar, weren't they?
Fancy. Malaysia is well known for putting crystal meth in the juices. I don't think it was crystal meth, mate.
some sort of
God,
I don't think I'd have bought it for like £8 either if it were crystal meth.
I think that the whole thing again with this sort of about juices, you need to go to the brands that you trust, brands that have been out, tried and tested. And again, this is what reviewers were there for. You obviously taste is subjective, but they'd give you a good idea of whether it's any good or if it's pants. But you get in. If you go to, I don't know, a car boot sale and you buy 100ml for a £5, you know you're gonna get somebody's toenail clippings in it out of the bath. That's the same thing to do with alcohol. You know, like your mate selling you 5 bottles of vodka for £6. You know it's covered in, it's got antifreeze in it. You're gonna be blind after half a bottle of it.
Yeah, prison liquor.
Yeah, and it's the same thing to do with like the disposables. If you're buying them from a bloke who's actually picking them up from underneath a counter, you should maybe ring your head in and go, look, these shouldn't actually be sold. Go to a vape shop, a reputable vape shop as well, that's well known, and get your stuff from there.
Betty,
But
yeah,
I
if
actually
you see,
blame the TPD slightly for it.
Yeah.
No,
Because obviously, a person wants to buy disposable. They don't want 2 mil. They want something bigger. So it's the demand. They're actually proving that the demand is there to relax the TPD on the 2 mil capacity.
Well, it's the same as your tanks, isn't it?
do you know what? Back in TPD come in, that was sort of like the dagger in the back, wasn't it? It was like, oh, they've got big tanks and big clouds. Let's lift 2 mil just to fuck them over. It was like, right, okay. And then we fast forward to 2023, disposables.
yeah, but the problem was their solution was to stick a rubber bung in, which was like, oh, thanks.
That was the goal. That was the goal.
Yeah, that was the get out. You've always got to remember that the TPD that we are basically using now, the information that they got was from 3 or 4 years before that. That's what they accumulated. Now you go back then, most people was mouth to lung in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it were more PG, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like 70% PG, and that's where they was basing their framework. So at the time when they introduced it, I mean, obviously they introduced the 2 mil capacity so that obviously if the glass broke, you wouldn't get poisoned by nicotine. I mean, that's basically all it was for. The only country that never kept that going was Germany. Out of all of us in the European Union, it was only Germany that kept on with the big tanks. and we should be having the big tanks.
We don't talk about Germany with their 18 cents per mil tax that they've just put on.
Is that what they've done?
Yeah.
Yeah. 18 cents per mil. So 180 on a 10 mil, 18 euros on a short film.
Jesus Christ.
But no,
I think Toma's in chat. He's in Israel. I think theirs is roughly around about that as well.
Yeah, I think that's the least of their worries at the moment.
Yeah. I hope you're okay as well, Tom. I hope you're all right, buddy. But that is terrible. Obviously, with the stuff that's been coming out in the news with obviously what's happening in the UK, do you think that's maybe a road that they're going to go down in the UK? Is maybe taxing?
I've been saying it's going to be happening for the last 10 years.
Am I right by saying? Sorry to wade in. Am I right by saying that if the trading standards did their job properly and if the customs forces did their problem, we wouldn't be in such a stitch of what we are now?
Totally agree.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Totally agree.
So to penalise our industry because of somebody else's negligence just seems bullshit. Excuse my language.
No.
Totally agree with you.
Totally agree.
Totally.
And we've said it show upon show. If you put them in the right places, which is his vape shops, and not have corner shops doing a job that a vape shop should be doing, so they can get the right information and not use the disposables for how they're using them, then I think we'd be in a lot better place.
I think Florida seemed to be the set of rules that I would like to adopt.
Well, they're the progressive state, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah,
they have no qualms about cannabis. He's like, yeah, no, fine, just crack on.
It's only medically legal in Florida. It's not.
Yeah, not soon to be.
Really?
Not soon.
Yeah, I saw that as well, that they were going to change it.
That'll make the Disneyland trip a lot better.
Yeah, yes. What their exact words were, they was going to try and make it as freely available as it is in Amsterdam.
But it's only a certain type of cannabis. It has to be like a bush. Can't be resin based.
Right. Okay. But yeah, going back to them. So in Florida, all vape sales not from a vape shop are prohibited. So you can't go to the 7-Eleven, you can't go to the supermarket. You have to go to a vape shop. That is how it should be.
Yeah. Again, I don't understand where the government doesn't come to people such as yourself, such as you, such a people who are in shops and know about these things and ask what their opinions are. Why?
See, the only reason why, let's be right about this. The only reason why they're in Asda's and Tesco's and petrol stations is not because of vaping industry, it's because of the tobacco industry. You want to sell our cigarettes, you've got to sell our blue. And that's how it works.
I remember a time probably 2 or 3 years ago where Blue were paying the shop to have a stand in there, whether the items sold or not.
Booze.
A friend of mine, probably about 3-4 years ago, he went to go work for BAT. And I said to him, you be careful, mate. Like, you don't know what you're doing. You're just going to get used up, harvest your information, and then they'll just bin you out. Like, oh, sorry, the position's been filled. And they had a room full of 50 people who thought we're going to make careers with BAT. And those 50 people sold us out. They informed BAT about how the groups work, how shops work, and every piece of information regarding the sale and manufacturing of our beautiful industry. And unfortunately, they've took that information and then that's how they figured out. I mean, my local Morrison's the other day, we've got a 9-foot shelf. A 2-year-old could take a bottle of liquid off the shelf. That's not what we wanted. That's not what it is. We have an 18 only vape shop for a reason. Why is it okay to put... And it's not exactly behind the cigarette counter neither. This is on the end of one of the rows. That's the bit that I've never understood.
If you go to like pound shops or B&M and things like that, you know, the 888s?
Mm-hmm.
Right next to, down on bottom.
Yeah,
at least we're going a step forward with the banning of disposables.
The other thing as well is obviously you challenged 23. The other bit that I wanted to, and I said this on the UK Vape Show, I'm in total agreement that obviously from being, I think it's 14-year-old, they'll put it up a year every time so it stops them smoking. So they're never ever going to be able to smoke, which I totally agree with. Now, obviously, the end all and be all of vaping as well. I don't want them to do it, obviously put it up every year that somebody's got to do it, but there's got to be a cut-off point where people shouldn't have to vape either. Like a child doesn't need to start vaping because they never smoked in the first place.
This was quite a lot of the question when people come in and ask for 0 milligram disposable vapes. I just used to question it and say, but why? And it was like, oh, well, when we're out on a Saturday night, my friends go out for a vape, I want to sort of fit in. What, you want to pay for another addiction? Like,
well, it's not, if there's no nicotine there's no addiction, but take a beer out.
Yeah,
go
get shots in.
With what I was saying on that bit about why I don't think, obviously the whole point of vaping in some people's cases is to stop smoking, but as Gailey Bops has always said, sometimes people actually just want that nicotine hit without the rest of them chemicals. So again, if you took it away from for people who maybe want to have nicotine, like caffeine and stuff like that, is it another way? Do you think it should be stopped, or do you think people should still be able to go, I want to be able to have that nicotine hit? Does that make sense what I'm saying? But that's smooth silence. I don't think these shows ever had that much silence. James's brain kicked through.
My view on it is, especially with just vaping. I'm not talking about cigarettes. Vaping is like having a cup of coffee.
Yeah, you get in your caffeine.
Yeah, it literally is. The amount of absorption that your body actually intakes of actual nicotine compared to a cigarette is minuscule.
Yeah.
That's why, if you notice, when someone goes from cigarettes to vaping, it's never out the mouth, because they don't quite get that nicotine that their body is used to. So it's exactly the same as having a cup of coffee, really. If you're a person that has a cup of coffee every other hour, compared to somebody that just has one cup of coffee a day, it's that. But it's also, you've got to remember, it is how can you put it? It's a sensation. And it's no more harm. The beauty about nicotine is this. You can't overdose on it.
You can make
literally, unless you've actually accidentally ingested it, or it's got through your skin that way. That's when you can overdose. If you vape and vape, eventually you will have to stop because it makes you throw up.
Yeah, and it makes you dizzy. You start seeing fucking pink.
So it makes you before it actually poisons you. It makes you stop. Your body says no, that is enough. You go all white and then you throw up, because we all can remember his first cigarette, can't we?
Remember being off the face off that first cig.
Exactly. So that's where I look at it. Vaping and the amount of nicotine that's in vaping is no more different than having a cup of coffee.
What a lot of people don't realise about cigarettes is that the nicotine is a different element to what we use in vape. The nicotine in cigarettes has been altered chemically and had a load of chemicals added with it to make it more powerful in our brain, so that you get a bigger dopamine hit and your brain craves it more, to make it more addictive. That was the whole thing about the Big Seven in like the 90s, where 7 of the CEOs from every cigarette manufacturer stood up in front of the US Congress and said, no, we didn't know nicotine was addictive, when in actual terms they was getting chemical scientists in to alter the chemical work of nicotine to make it a lot more addictive. Now, the nicotine we have in vaping is pretty much the same as what you have in snus. It's more freeform, it's more natural, which is why you find the thing of, like Mark said, when you go from smoking cigarettes to vaping, the vape's never out your mouth because you're never getting that hit, because it's chemically different to the nicotine that's in cigarettes.
Go on, James, you were going to say something there.
Remember, it's loose information here, but someone was telling me that when they took cigarette advertising out of F1, the way the cigarette companies sort of fought back to that was by putting an additive into cigarettes that meant you could smoke one, got to the end of it, lit another one off another one, and could smoke a second cigarette.
It was the hit in the brain. What they did, they chemically altered the form of nicotine so that it hits your brain more fiercely. It was like the difference between that and that.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. And because your brain really wants that now, it becomes more addictive, and why that don't really do anything anymore, which is why vapors or new vapors tend to never have the vape out the mouth.
I'm like that anyway, mate. I go to bed with the damn thing.
Yeah, because you're used to it.
But the other thing as well is you don't actually vape how you do a cigarette. Now, if you think about it, when you take a cigarette, you go all the way down to the end, don't you? And then you stub it and put it out. I've just watched all of you do exactly the same thing. Like, I've gone there, had one, and then I'll put it back down, and I'll probably not have another vape for another couple of minutes, and then you vape again. Vaping isn't like smoking, because smoking, like I said, especially if you used to nick one from your mum and she had them Super Kings, them ginormous things like that. You'd be sat there about 20 minutes in going, Jesus Christ, it's still halfway there. What's happening? Yeah. That's why, you know, that anybody who ever smokes a Super King, there are always that much left of the cigarette. That's what people going around for tab ends, you know what I mean? Super King smokers, that's what we want. I can roll my own. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's 10 to. We've not done any of the hand checks. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to save the hand checks for next week. I am so sorry. But when you start getting onto stuff, it just goes so fast. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up the Rochford giveaway, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're just going to get back onto this cloud comp, because I know that a few more people have joined us. Right there, Roch. We all know the keyword to put in. There we go. And we should be off. So again, there is a pre-show as well. Where's this pre-show? On the 20th, is it?
Before the main show.
This Saturday, Only the Vape in Darlington. Pre-expo party. I'll be down there most of the day. I think there's a meet on the night as well, but everyone's welcome to come down with through the day. It's a really cool spot. It's got a bar in it. It's got a pool table. It's got retro games. And we'll be there. Is there any more reasons to go?
No, that's and again, this is something we were talking about, Mark, again, that years ago, lots of vape shops used to do this. They'd stay open late on at night, and people used to bring their own beer, they'd order pizza, and they'd sit around, talk about builds, and they used to do cloud comps then, didn't they?
And that's what we're sort of trying to bring a little bit back of.
So if you're around, I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know it's not the easiest place for people in the south to get to, but if anyone's in the local area and you're nervous about coming down because you don't know anyone, well, you know who I am.
Yep.
Come up, say hello, and we'll introduce you to everybody there.
He's very approachable.
He won't talk to you, but you know.
No, he's one of the nicest people in vaping. From first day I met him, we've always got on. And again, if you are a bit scared of walking in there, he's a big smiley face and he will look after you.
Same with Expo as well. If you're one of those kind of people who don't want to chat to no one and you don't know no one, come down, come say hello. We'll go introduce you to everybody.
Ask for some free shit.
That's it. You won't get any.
You won't get any. Get yourself into the Ohm zone.
Slaps are free.
Yeah, slaps are free. Get yourself to the Ohm zone. Get yourself all in. And there's lots of. I'll be there. Vic will be there. There'll be loads of other people from Saturday shows. All the people that you've seen. Get yourself there. Jane's going to be there as well from Shy Touch. You've obviously got the King's Custard. There's going to be loads of people there who you've either seen on YouTube or whatever else. Come and say hello to everybody.
The only person that won't be there is me, because I'll be busy.
I won't be there this year.
This is the first one he's missed since I've ever been vaping. Gutted.
I won't be there.
I'm gutted. I have said to him, because obviously I've got a room on my own from the Thursday till the Monday, and I've said to him, get yourself over, bro, and just stay over.
That's it.
On the Saturday.
There in spirit, fellas.
I'll be there in spirit.
No, he doesn't drink that much now. Also, don't forget the cloud. Don't forget the Cloud Comp as well, ladies and gentlemen, on the Sunday. Again, if you want to register for that, get yourself over to the King's Custard. It's slap bang in the middle of that home zone.
As soon as you walk in, you can't miss us.
Get yourself registered, even if you're no good at it. Just participate in it and having a bit of a laugh.
Go for it.
In the exact same respect, even if you're not got big enough clouds to go into the competition, still come down and come take a picture. All the pictures will be posted on the King's Facebook for you to harvest and put on your own Facebook or whatever, or however you want to use it.
He's got a photo booth.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about that one again.
Yeah.
Hang on, where is this Darlington event? Darlington.
Yeah, what's the place called again?
Only the Vape.
Only the Vape in Darlington. Saturday.
If anyone knows, it used to be called the Cloud Collaborative, but now it is Only the Vape to fall in line with the rest of the shops. But quickly, photo booth at Expo, whether you've got one of these, or you've got a mech, or whether you've got a lipo box, or whether you've got a series box, or anything like that, come down. Or if it's just got a tank and a DNA, or a tank and a fucking alien, if you've still got an alien. I still live in the old days. Come down, come take a picture. Support the cause. And not only that, but make sure you visit everybody in the home zone. Don't just come and see me. Make sure you come and visit everybody. We've got everybody at the Infernal, Wicked Addiction, Death Wish Lads, Vapors Cloud, Big Five, the B&B guys, Braun Blazda. We've got
Forward Crew,
Legion X, MTN Coils.
Legion X, yeah, they're really nice people. Who was that lad who was next to you in the booth? Was it Vikings? He had all that Viking stuff.
Shy Tots,
yeah, we don't forget Shy Tots
as well. Do you know what? And the worst part of it is, if I've forgotten anyone's name there that was in the home zone, please don't take offence.
No, I'll be very offended. Go and tell him.
I've just put the address in the chat.
Oh, the easiest thing is go have a look at the floor plan of the expo, and then you can see.
Just to answer Ben M, I don't think there's a restriction on how many 18650s you can use in a device.
Single 18650.
So it can only be one single.
There can only be one.
Ooh,
I don't think there's a restriction. But there can only be one. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to roll your giveaway. The winner is Nicky Maynard. Well done, apart from that you're a Tottenham fan.
Big up Ben, Viking, Longboat e-liquids. Thanks for that, mate. That's
he's so nice, him. Longbow. We met him. Like, I didn't even know who he was. Do you know what I mean? And we met him actually just having a beer outside. And he's such a funny man. I really like him. And I tell you what, he must have cost him a little bit to get all them fucking Viking things. And
yeah,
no, really nice stand, really nice bloke.
Can we have someone bring one mouth to lung device to the Cloud Comp and see how well they do?
I don't think they'll go very far.
It'd be worth it just for giggles.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
You know what? Actually, this might be a little sideline one. If anybody does take a video using an AIO, surely there has to be a prize for biggest cloud for that weekend using an MTL piece.
I think I might do it. I think I might come and have a go at that. I think I can blow a big cloud on it. Nicky, do you want it? If you do, let us know, Nicky. Nicky, you still there? Are you there, Nicky? Yep, he didn't come up on there. The contact details down below. Let Jay know he does watch the show, so he knows who's won. Please get in touch with him in there, and you get your winnings. It is that point in the evening, ladies and gentlemen. This show has just gone so fast. We're going to say our sorts of goodbyes. Bro, say your goodbyes.
Say your goodbyes. Thank you ever so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed the show and look forward to hearing all about the Cloud Comp. There you go. And if you'd like to see a little bit more of me, you can see me twice tomorrow night. One on the home service and one on the UK Vape Show.
Yeah, he's all over. He's all over.
I know. My face is getting everywhere.
It's like YouTube
I'm an
herpes.
internet whore.
I'd say YouTube herpes. Once in one place, you start spreading.
New name, syphilis.
Yeah. Oh, you've been sucking on his sock as well?
Ooh.
My socks like my underpants get about.
Oh,
It's
don't
when
say
you go
that,
to
Aiden.
doctors saying that you've got athlete's mouth.
Yeah, just use some powder. Mr. B, say your goodbyes.
Well, I hope everyone has fun at the expo. I
Oh,
hope
we've got another show before then.
Have we?
Yeah,
I
next
don't
week.
even know when it is. Well, listen, folks, if you like storytelling, stay tuned for next week because I have something to share for you. I'm not going to tell you what it is now, but you'll have to see next week. So until then, stay tuned. Bye.
That was Mr. B. James, let's go back over everything to make sure we've got it all covered, all bases covered. Saturday.
This Saturday, only the Vape, Darlington. I'll be there all day. There's a meet from, say, 5 p.m, but if you all want to come down on the day, that's totally fine. There's a bar, there's a pool table.
Pool comp as well.
Pardon?
There's a pool comp.
There is a pool competition.
We've got retro games as well.
Retro games, don't forget about the retro games. Also, if enough people turn up with mechs, it might not be an 18,650 comp, but there will be some prizes if everyone turns up wanting to comp, we will do it. So yeah, that one's going to be brilliant. Massive thanks to Dan McCormick and Mark Wilkes as well for letting us put on the event there. Absolute fucking diamonds.
Are you doing any DJing there?
I might take the decks and sound system, maybe. Might do a little bit. Might have a little bit.
Might as well if you've got the big fucking speakers to shut up the home service.
might do a little bit of a disco set or something. We'll see what happens.
No wrong with
Disco here, disco there.
And also, Sunday at Expo, ladies and gentlemen, 1 p.m, the Cloud Comp.
1 p.m. Dust off your old relics, 18650s, even if you got the new blood. Make sure you've got your battery reducer if you're using a 21700 or a 2700. But it's 18650 only. If you want to register, come down to the King stand. We'll put you on the backdrop. We'll measure your cloud. Biggest 16 go through, and you must be there on the Sunday, even if you don't qualify on the actual Sunday, if that makes sense. So yeah.
And don't forget to get your photograph took, even if you're not in the Cloud Comp. He's got a photo booth. He's paid for it.
If you've got any piece of vaping equipment, get yourself down. Come get a picture taken. Support the cause and big up everybody who's taken part from the Home Zone. Big up everybody who's taken part in the expo itself. Essentially, a lot of people got some negative to say about the outside of the Home Zone, the inside, but one feeds the other. So in the exact same respect, if you're just going to come to the Home Zone, make sure you have a walk around. Go see some people. Go.
No, do you know, I thought you were going to say then, if you're going to come to the home zone, make sure you have a wash.
And that.
And that as well, yeah. We don't want everybody coming around smelling like your socks. Ladies and gentlemen, that was James Georgebridge from the wonderful King's Custard. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been another 3 Minute Vape Show. We will be back next week. I totally promise you that. It will be the Expo special. Big love to all three of these. Mr. B, big love to you as well, my mate. You start making me fucking choke up then. Big love to my wonderful brother, and always James, you know, mate, you're an absolute star. One of the loveliest people in vaping. He's always been lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 3 Minute Vape Show. Thank you so much for everybody in chat and all the spanners that have kept us safe. Don't forget to join us tomorrow on the UK Vape Show. Go check my bro out on the home service, which is at 7:30. Big love to you all, and a good nighter. Press the outro. Oh, big love to Forrest. I love you, Forrest.
Forrest.
Yeah, Forrest. So he's my mate. He's my mate who I play DayZ with. So
Miss Forrest, you can't see good for dreams.
Oh, believe me, he's absolutely he's a gunsmith, that man. Yeah, no, he runs like Forrest. That's why we do it. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.